I just got done watching Ahsoka episode 3, and this is going to be my full spoiler review for this brand new episode. Make sure to leave your thoughts down below, hit that like and subscribe, and if the Force is with you, and of course if you love Ahsoka. And as a little bit of background context before we get into this, if you missed my episodes 1 and 2 review, Ahsoka so far I find to be incredible, and I actually found that this episode 3, while I was a little bit disappointed that it was only about 34 minutes with credits, it flew by. It felt like the next best piece for Chapter 3 of the Ahsoka series. And Ahsoka, for me, is hands down my favorite Star Wars character ever. And this show has been everything that I've really wanted it to be as a Season 5, per se, to Rebels. And as well as what this episode did so well, and what truly surprised me in a lot of different avenues, was how it gave us depth, moved the story forward, but also showcased how damn cinematic Disney Plus shows can be, and in general Star Wars can be, because the dogfighting action set piece in here actually made me sweat. I am literally sweated through this entire shirt, and it was an awesome time to see all of that, as well as the build up and moving the story further along, because while we see Mandalorian, they'll have filler episodes, and I think at first I thought, okay, this is going to be kind of one of those filler bottle episodes in between that gives a little bit of development, but doesn't really further anything. And I think some people might look at that and say that because it really was just one giant action set piece for the back half of the episode, but the rest of it all works in style and flair and is amazing from top to bottom. I'm blown away by this episode. Seriously, every episode of Ahsoka for me has just really nailed that samurai sci-fi western vibe. I love how very much this episode opens up with, of course, Sabine training with Huyang. Huyang just has some of the best commentary throughout this episode. If you want to see me react to that on my second channel, Zach Pope Expanded, in a couple hours to either tomorrow morning, you'll get to see my actual reaction to the entire episode of Ahsoka. But it's a blast to see her training with Huyang and getting to see how that, and seeing Ahsoka watch her learn. And Ahsoka has learned from the worst of us all. She has been someone who's been banished by the Jedi Order, who does not believe in that. She walks this fine line, is very much a gray Jedi of some sorts, and really much infuses that into her training. And I really like when she puts the mask over Sabine, which again parallels to a lot of different Padawans that we have seen in the past, but primarily with Ezra Bridger. And I love how we get to see Ahsoka using that, and how they're really much just fighting with the little wooden sticks, but the way that it all kind of plays out really puts a big smile on my face. And then, of course, flashing forward, we get Mon Mothma back, of course, and her and the whole Chancellors, they all deny Hera's whole thing. Which, again, Hera, it was great to see Hera and Jason, which, just shout out to Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She didn't get a lot to do in this episode, but she is absolutely embodying Hera in such a magnificent way. And I think it goes as far as show how great of an actress that Mary Elizabeth Winstead is, because the way that she really develops and gives to all of this really puts a big smile on my face as well. And getting to see Jason, her son, Kanan, and her son really made me smile when he said, "I want to be a Jedi one day," and she patted his head. Well, yes, you probably will learn the Force one day. And I'm just a theory, come back to this video way in the future. If he is Force sensitive, 1000% Ezra Bridger will be his mentor. We already know it will be, because who was his mentor? His father. And again, all that leads into the, because the second they get out of hyperspace, they get this whole construction, this scan that there's something big in the distance, and it's not a Star Destroyer, it's a hyperspace ring that Elizabeth is building. Now, we can only think that, of course, that they are using it to get to Thrawn, and as they are going to this is where the dogfighting starts. 4 ships against Ahsoka, Huyang, and Sabine in one of their ships, and we get this other Sith apprentice, which really gives me this Darth Maul vibe from Phantom Menace. We got Marok, who a lot of people were predicting could be Ezra, but someone pointed out to me last week that it is actually Sam Witwer who is actually voicing that character, which, again, Sam voices a lot of characters. I kind of wanted to be Galen Starkiller. I wanted to be Starkiller from Force Unleashed, make him canon. Probably won't happen, but cool to see this entire dogfight happen. The second they get flown out of orbit and Ahsoka has to go out on the wing in her space outfit and attack everyone with the lightsabers, that moment just made me hyped to no end. Seeing her destroy one of the ships by doing a whole backflip and slicing it, it's badass. And it definitively shows why Ahsoka is so awesome, but I really liked how this episode played out, and I love how they ended up, Sabine, all this teamwork, and seeing them dive. I got straight up goosebumps, and to really give a shout out is Kevin Kiner's score in here, who he's done an amazing job within the Clone Wars, and of course Rebels, and Bad Batch as well. But he takes a lot of influences from John Williams, and the way that he is able to infuse this, because as much as I've loved Ludwig's score for The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, and I even really dug Andor's, the biggest strength to Ahsoka for me is the score. It feels like classic Star Wars in so many different lights that it can only put a smile on your face and add to the tension, add to the moments. And I think this is a big point of contention, is scores are so important to cinema, to film, to TV, that I can't get enough of it, and I can't get enough of this show. And by the ending of this episode, where you see them land into this Ghost of Tsushima type forest vibe, I'm really digging that. And them kind of starting to talk about this hyperspace ring, and of course the space whales, which again, when I saw that first time in Star Wars Rebels, I thought it was the dumbest thing, but now it's all connecting, it's all coming together, it's all coming into one, because who is connected to those space whales? Ezra. That gives them a sign of hope. They want to save Ezra. They want to stop Thrawn. They want to do all of this. They know what is coming, and it makes me excited, to say the least. And I love this. I love this show. And of course, going into that, you see Ray Stevenson, who's just sitting there all menacing, rest in peace to him, saying, look where this is. Go hunt him down. And the end on that note, it makes me so excited for the future of this show. Cannot wait for episode 4. Make sure to leave your thoughts down below. Hit that like, subscribe button for more. And of course, until next time, stay classy.